What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. Today we're continuing with Capsuleer Day 22 again, and this time we're out checking out the mining path and what you can do in that route. So if you haven't done any mining yet, in the events track you should see one of these missions that says like mine 7,000 tyranite. But if you're doing another route or any of the trying to find any of the filaments, you'll have seen all mineral requirements, unique minerals required to build the filaments and the emission spectrums, limiters and expanders, whatever they're called, to take you further into the event. So I decided I'd start looking at mining. So while I was hopping around with my hacking ship, doing the event sites, I was keeping an eye out for the new asteroid belts. And I couldn't find any for ages. They weren't popping up as asteroid belts. They weren't in cosmic anomalies, which is where I thought they'd be with like the Jaspet deposits and that kind of stuff. Could not find any. I was hopping through so many systems. And then just kind of by luck, a bit fortuitously, I discovered that they just appear in your overview as celestial beacons. So if you've been struggling to find any, they are in your overview as celestial beacons called tyranite or small tyranite deposits. If you might need to set your overview up so that you have celestial beacons activated. So again, that's another reason I didn't notice. I move around on these overviews where I don't have them on, but if I'd gone to this one I would have seen it. And the way I actually found them was they appear on the map. So I was looking around a map and then you see a beacon and it says tyranite deposit. So that's how you find them. It took me way too long to figure that out. Let's warp in. I've completed the first mission for mining 7,000 tyranite, and the next step was then to use that to build a filament, which I've also just done. So the next step in the industrial path is now to manufacture an emission amplifier or limiter, which I'll be doing next, but I need to go get more tyranite to do that. I'm just in a venture. It's a simple venture. I used one of the starting fits and tech 2'd some of the modules. Looks like there is a rat here though, so I will drop my drones. One small frigate, and it's a basic angel, so it should not be a problem at all, but just something to bear in mind that there are a few rats that spawn. You see someone else has killed an angel thug already. The asteroids here are unique, so again you may need to, I had to add them to my overview when I landed, so you may need to just right click, add to overview to do that. But let's go start mining. I've got a scanner, so shouldn't have any problems figuring out how big the rocks are to know whether what we need to do there. Right, let's get that hijacker, send my drones over, lock up this rock. I'm also just quickly going to scan. Plenty in there, 23,000, and I'm in a venture, so I've only got a small 5,000 unit, 5,000 meters cubed cargo hold, of course. Let's stop my ship. I'm going to pull drones a bit, and then we're just going to sit here. Yeah, there's not much to this, of course. There's often not much to mining. I've come out on a venture because I wasn't sure what to expect and wanted to be agile and things in case there were some regular threats. I don't believe there are, just very small rat spawns. So you could come and do this in any kind of mining barge. Just be aware that, of course, skankers might come and get you. Now, what is worth mentioning is that a venture hold, so 5,000 meters cubed of this ore, is enough to manufacture one filament or one emission band. You do need quite a lot of that material. With my reprocessing skills, I get a little bit more than that. You need 50,000 and I got 59,000. But basically every time I want to go and build something, I need to go and fill one whole venture. So just bear that in mind. You may want to come and do this in a barge or something bigger so that you can stack up more of it. Still doesn't have value on the market, but I am near heck. So let's see. No, I'm closer to Wren's. Doesn't have much value. and partly because there's not much of it, most people will just reprocess this and go on to the next step. But yeah, I just really wanted to share quickly how you actually find this, because it took me 2 days of hopping around whilst hacking to figure that out, and it was pure luck that I found it in the end. These should be everywhere in K space. They don't spawn in wormholes and Poshvin, but they should be in high, low, and nullsec, I believe. So you can just find them, but I can't see what difference there would be in low and null really, so you might as well just do this in high sec. The belts are massive. Like you saw, what do we have in this one? There you go. Look at these units, 82, 84, 84,000 units all the way down. And there are a lot of rocks. So I don't really see why you'd do this anywhere other than high sec. Just to make that a little bit easier for you. Yeah, and so the I guess the slightly frustrating thing is they've made it an industrial. So instead of the PvE and the hacking, they're repeatable, constant set of repeatable things. Am I going to get ganked by the Sunesis? Hopefully it's just here mining. I'm in a venture in high sec. It would not be worth killing me. Anyway, yeah, the PvE and the exploration ones just repeat. The mining one didn't. We then went into a manufacturing path, which is a little bit frustrating probably for miners, because you can't get the filament blueprints so far without going and doing some of the other stuff. So we'll see when it does repeat. Probably after this one it'll go back to mining. But you can't really just mine to complete the track in this case. But I'm going to see how much of this I can do. Next thing, because I've now constructed the Azdaja readout filament, my next video, if you want to see that, is going to be me filamenting down into Azdaja with all my loot and figuring out what to do with it, and seeing if I can make any cash and actually figure out what the value is for stuff. And I will go and see what the caged wormhole is. It may be way too challenging. I might just blow up, but I'm going to go and see, and we'll keep working our way up the path. So with that, just another short one. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you want to see more of these, I'm going to keep going. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.